Hi everyone, it's me, Amy again, and today I'm going to be reviewing Luigi's Mansion. As some of you may have guessed from that awesome creation there, I didn't make it. Luigi's Mansion is a classic favourite of mine from my childhood. If you had a GameCube, then you probably had this. If not, I think it's time for a good overview from me, and maybe a little purchase from you. So first of all, Luigi's Mansion was released on May the 3rd in 2002, and is the only major game to feature Luigi as the main character to date. In fact, out of Luigi, Mario, Wario, and Waluigi, only Waluigi has currently not had a game to his name. So the story is fairly basic, easy to follow. Luigi wins a mansion. He lets Mario know and they both agree to meet outside, but on entrance, Luigi realises that this is no ordinary mansion but is infested with many evil ghosts, and Mario is not to be found. May I add, he wins this mansion from a contest he never even enters. And Luigi, being the usual cheese brain, learns this danger of ghosts the hard way as he is attacked by the ghouls almost immediately. This is where he first meets Professor Egad, who tells him about the capture of his brother Mario in the mansion. And after training with Professor Egad's invention, the Poltergust 3000, which will hoover the ghosts up, and receiving the Game Boy Horror to keep in contact with Egad and to help Luigi navigate, he is ready to rescue his brother Mario. Along his journey, he will battle many foes, turning ghost bosses into portraits using yet another invention by Professor Egad, which can turn ghosts to portraits and vice versa. It's called the Ghost Portrificationizer. He encounters other foes such as Boos on his search. He needs to capture all 50 of them, or around that, to weaken King Boo. Now, if you don't like spoilers, then I suggest you move forward just a few seconds, because the reason that he has to weaken King Boo is because he's even gone and revived and possessed Bowser to get Luigi, so in order to make him defeatable he needs weakening, as he also has Mario held captive in a portrait. After winning the battle, Mario is changed back using the Ghost Portrificationizer. It's an incredibly enticing story. Now, the graphics in this game are groundbreaking. Although you may disagree, but let's think this through a second. This game was made over 10 years ago. It's not going to look like a polished game if you look at recent releases, but for the time it was made, it was fantastic, and I think it's aged very well. But if we explore another aspect of the graphics, I think the vastness of this game in terms of where you can go is very good, and every room of the mansion is designed individually in a very different way to the rest. I mean, don't get me wrong, Nintendo have had the tendency to be lazy, which is a shame. An example of this being the laugh of Boo on Super Mario 64 was just Bowser's laugh sped up. But they were certainly not lazy in the making of Luigi's Mansion, and this is apparent throughout the game. The game length is rather long, and after completing it, there is a second mode called the Hidden Mansion, in which things are very different. If you've played on Mario Kart Double Dash on the GameCube, you may have been on the Mirror Mode, which is basically a reverse of the way levels look. This feature is the main one in Hidden Mansion, along with increased difficulty. It does add a layer of individuality to the game and difficulty, but I for one don't like it, as I've completed the game on its normal mode when I went onto the Unlock mode. It just confused me. So it doesn't really fit much with the game as Nintendo probably hoped. Either that, or I'm just grumpy because it's solid, and yeah, to be fair, it's probably that. Remember good old blocks? I remember my first memory card, it was black and had 251 blocks, which is 2 megabytes, and the second highest storage out of the 3 official ones. I mean, looking at my laptop and my Xbox 360, which has 250 gigabytes, which is the equivalent of 256,000 megabytes, it doesn't seem a lot, but the GameCube used its space very well. Yet although now looking at my 2 megabyte card, I'm not as excited to see the save space capabilities as I was when I was younger. Upon receiving a new memory card in those days to go with my other one, I freaked out. It is a third-party produced card with 64 megabytes, that's 1019 blocks. It really makes the most out of its space. But yeah, so Luigi's Mansion takes up 3 and is very good compared to some games. Definitely not referring to Sims Pets, which takes up 124 blocks, and The Sims Busting Out, which takes up 161. Jeez. In terms of gamer type, if you play casual games, this game is fairly suited to you, but to play very casual ones such as Viva Pinata, maybe not so, as it can be very challenging as it's an action-adventure game. It does have a sort of puzzle aspect to it. I've played on RPGs, I've played on casual games, old platform games, and shooters, they're not platform games, and many, many, many more, and I enjoy all the genres of games, so finding out what games you're into can help greatly when choosing, but I would say that Luigi's Mansion is pretty compatible for most. So I've got a little bit of juicy facts for you here. It's just my opinion of juicy. I really enjoyed reviewing this game, and I've been looking forward to sharing a few of these interesting facts that I know about it. So, first of all, did you know that Luigi's Mansion was originally intended to be in 3D? This is because the GameCube was capable of playing stereoscopic 3D video, like the 3DS, but the idea was scrapped due to how expensive the functioning add-on would have to be, more than the actual console. But the 3DS was released in Europe 9 years after the release of Luigi's Mansion, so that original idea has been brought forward after all, but sadly not on anything other than the 3DS. But in March 2013, it sped the release of Luigi's Mansion 2 on the 3DS. Also, Luigi's Mansion was also originally intended to have a 24-hour time limit to save Mario. This does sound very compelling to me. I would have wondered what it'd be like. And the voice of Professor Egad is Kazumi Taka, can't say his name, who also voices Yoshi. Professor Egad's full name is Elvin Gad. No wonder they use the abbreviation. The Game Boy Horror was originally meant to be used in real life with the Game Boy Advance, rather than the Game Boy Horror version seen on the screen. To those of you who've not owned a Game Boy Advance or used it in this manner, the intention was like the Wii U, a smaller screen, so that way you could view different things on your TV and Game Boy. A game that did use this on the Game Boy Advance was The Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker. The end also sees the mansion disappear, and Luigi builds a normal house on the site using the money he earned. The size of the house depends on how much money the player was able to obtain before the end of the game. First I thought the money was useless and merely a collectible, but it's a very clever touch. And Luigi's Mansion is also the most successful GameCube launch title and the best-selling game in November 2001. It was also one of the first Player's Choice titles of the console, along with Super Smash Bros. Melee and Pikmin, all brilliant games. Egad also made Flood, the flash liquidizing ultra dowsing device in Super Mario Sunshine, and even the paintbrush. Your performance in the game is ranked on how much money you earned from A to H. Another fact about the composer and voice of Egad and Yoshi, Kazumi Totaka's song is found on nearly every game that he worked on, and it's also been found on Luigi's Mansion. After meeting Egad for the first time, you will have to do some training with the Poltergus 3000, and before the training begins, you'll see the control screen. Wait on the screen for 3 minutes and 25 seconds, and you'll hear the songs. And then another fact is that 3 unused ending sprites have been found in the game. There's a great, a good, and then a bad. And one picture shown on the 2001 trailer, Luigi's very depressed, he looks so frightening. The game was intended to be a lot darker than its final result, but nonetheless, Luigi's Mansion is banned in 196 countries for being too scary. Luigi's Mansion was originally intended to be a tech demo to show off what the GameCube was capable of. Now, for those of you who are looking forward to the release on 3DS, then this is for you. Here, take it. It's from Nintendo. So summing up all I've witnessed on Luigi's Mansion and all I've done, it really is superb. I mean, sure, improvements can be made, but I'm sure follow-ons from the game will continue to improve the series, and hopefully the series can finally continue after so long. I'm going to rate it 8 out of 10. Here are a few brief bullet points as to some of the reasons why I've given it this rating. First of all, it has good graphics and individual rooms, a pulling-in storyline. It's easy to control, but the difficulty makes it a great, challenging game. It does not take up a lot of memory blocks, and there's a large range of ghosts and new encounters, both of ability and enemy, throughout the course of the game. There's a also challenging final boss. And the bad points are that there could be a longer main story, and the order of which rooms you can go and unlock and go to 13 is very unorganised, and the hidden mansion mode